Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Doctor Y podcast. We're back. We're here with episode 1. This is a after show for Doctor Who Flux Series 13. And I'm saying that for a very specific reason, because Chris will get into why that annoys him. But Doctor Who Flux Series 13. Here is with me today is the angry pacifist, also known as Chris.
Hi.
I'm Lemon, also known as Dan. And we'll get into it. Straight up, let's just start, Chris, with why that naming pissed you off.
Okay, it's gonna sound so dumb. Like it sounded dumb to you, Bam. But the way that it was written on the guide, on the TV guide, it was called Doctor Who Flux, as if that was the name of the show. But the show is called Doctor Who. It should have been Doctor Who Series 13 Flux, not Doctor Who Flux Series 13. Because otherwise, it's a completely different show to everything we've seen before. Because it's a different name, it's not Doctor Who anymore.
So let's get right into it, Chris. Let's go right. We're gonna go just straight into it. The way we're gonna do this is we're gonna go through the episode. 'Cause I wrote the notes down in paragraphs based on each scenes that happen. So we're gonna go through it and just talk about it. Yeah. So this is the first episode of Doctor Who Series 13, Doctor Who Flux. The episode is titled I Forget. That's not what it's titled, but I forget. The Halloween
Apocalypse.
The Halloween Apocalypse. There we go.
Does that really fit? Does that really fit for what the episode actually happened?
It should have been called The Flux. That's what the episode should have been called, The Flux. That's it. So the episode starts with a black screen. The Doctor and Yaz having a conversation. I like all my scripts start with a black screen because I think it's really cool. Yaz and the Doctor are upside down in this floating foot clamp thing, and this alien with just just somehow this accent, but this alien is just telling the Doctor and Yaz, "Oh, you aren't gonna get me. I'm far away from you guys. What are you gonna do, dickheads?" And the Doctor goes, "Well, hey Yaz, remember when we did that acrobatics thing? Yeah, let's just do that. 3, 2, yeah!"
The circus.
So what I wrote down in my notes is starts with a black screen, and that scene of them upside down. I wrote nice start because I actually do in media starts. I like that start. The show just turned into a lot of exposition. A lot. They just said, "This is why we're here. This is who we're looking for. This is why we're stuck here. Remember when we did this one thing with really bad? It just was a lot of exposition."
I literally wrote down two. Oh, I wrote it wrong. In fact, I said 2 exposition in the upside down bit. I meant to put too much exposition.
Because, and we'll get into it at the end. But there was too much exposition at this end. They literally give you this really cool start. It's punchy. I like it. And then they're like, "We're gonna have Yaz and the Doctor talk while this thing is meant to be this really this disc. What do they call it? Something the laser disc or the flying disc or something."
Yeah.
Those things are shooting at the Doctor and they're just having a conversation. They're like, "Yeah, so how's your day been, Yaz? Oh, it's been good, Doctor. Oh yeah, this thing's shooting us. Don't worry about it. Just worry about it. I'm gonna keep saying uncuff to my handcuffs," which is also that was not funny.
Yeah. I was re-editing Star Wars Attack of the Clones earlier, just because I felt like it, and I have to say that the shooty droid flying thing is just like something out of Star Wars, but because of the background, it looked really fake. I felt the background in that scene looked really wrong.
There's a lot of Star Wars references in this episode.
There was.
We'll get into it.
But the background, it's a cool background. It's something different. But when you put CGI, when you put something that's CGI into that background, it just looks so wrong.
I agree.
Yeah.
I understand completely what you're talking about.
There was something that the villain guy. He said that, I'm going to the end of the world. That's what I'm going to do. That's where I'm going right now. I'm going to watch that. In the hologram, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Doctor's completely shocked at this idea that it's the end of the world. And I'm thinking, well, technically, because there's no context, to what that guy said. It could just be that he's talking about the episode, the end of the world from series one. Like he could just be going to Satellite 5. Like he could be.
There was a joke when the whole Yaz and Doctor were doing the whole like uncuff thing. The one thing that Jodie Doctor said was like, maybe I said this when I was Scottish, and I was a callback to Capaldi, and that made me laugh. I was like, okay, that was a good line. That was
There were
fun.
a couple of references to that. Like later on, there was this bit where the Doctor was like, "Oh, I used to be a ball boy."
Yeah, that stuff I like because it reminds you that this is the same character. And it brings me back to like, but it also makes me go like, what if Capaldi was in this scene?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the start of this cold open, but then I didn't by the end of it because it just felt off. There's this whole storyline going on with the TARDIS, which is
if you're gonna do a cold open like that, you need to do a flashback to explain how they got there, in my opinion, instead of doing exposition.
I feel like it should, yeah. If they had a flashback right after the titles, right, explaining how they got to that position, and then went to that little past bit with the guys, I don't know where that's leading to. But if they did that, that probably would have flowed a bit better. But I wrote down here, strange cold open, but it made me really want Yaz and the Doctor, by themselves. Like it really made me like if Yaz was just the Doctor's companion, but it would be really cool because also later on there's a cool dynamic that's going on with the Doctor and Yaz, where they're butting heads at times, and I'm like, Yaz is getting character. Wow,
it's
what?
like you never really see any of Chibnall's work when he's only like writing one companion. So if you think about it, you've got 42, which has got loads of characters. You've got the Silurian two-parter, which has got again loads of side characters. Power 3 has got like Amy Nori and Rory's dad, and then like all of series 11 and 12 has had like the main you've had Yaz, Ryan, and Graham, and then in the New Year's special you had Captain Jack in it. So this was like, even if it was just sort of like the first 25 minutes, it was really good to see how Chibnall writes a single companion, and especially and Torchwood as well. In Torchwood you've got the whole team as well. So this really is the first time that we've seen Chibnall write for more than less than two companions. We've seen him write for less than two companions, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I really like when we go to the introduction of Dan. There's a few things I want to talk about Dan, and John Bishop especially. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But I do feel like if Chibnall just had one companion for his run, it probably would have been like, I probably would have liked it a lot more because I feel like Chibnall's better at having this duo dynamic than he is trying to have an ensemble. But yeah. The titles happen after this. The Yaz and the Doctor go. So the Yaz and the Doctor go to the TARDIS.
Oh. Wait, one last thing. Why was there a net in the TARDIS?
Because apparently,
how did the Doctor know that was going to happen?
I think it was their plan to do that, but I don't know how it was their plan to do that when it came up. Like they didn't know they were going to do. Don't even ask. Maybe the TARDIS materialized one because like, oh, the Doctor needs. I don't know. The TARDIS. There's a lot of stuff going with the TARDIS, so maybe the rooms were like glitching. Who knows?
Yeah.
So they so as Chris was explaining with the trampoline, the thing that they were attached to, which is hovering, they jump up into it and it kind of breaks in half. So the Doctor and the Yaz are each on like their own half of this structure. So Yaz sees the TARDIS and says, "Doctor, we should like let go so we can fly into the TARDIS." The Doctor goes, "Count us down." Now they both fly down into the TARDIS. The TARDIS doors open automatically and they land on a trampoline and then slide into a bed together. Chibnall, we know what you're doing. But then, they land and slide into a bed together. And the Doctor's like, well, we're going to chase after that guy. And then there's a jump back. No. That doesn't happen yet. But yeah, they fly this thing and then it opens to the titles.
Yeah. Something about the title sequence that I noticed they changed is that for series 11 and 12, they had like the name of the episode, and beneath was the name of the writer and the name of the director. But this time they put the name of the director in the main title sequence after the cast, which I thought was like really, really stupid. You probably didn't realize. You probably didn't know the director's name anyway.
I wasn't even looking at the main. I saw it looked the same. I was like, I'm not looking anymore. I'm writing my notes.
No, okay.
But no, it's because they have one less cast member, so they had like we need to fill that slot.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll put a director.
It just looks so stupid, and it ruined something that I actually liked from Series 11 that they started in Series 11. So that annoyed me a lot.
They could have done what they did like in like Series 2 and 3 and stuff, where they just made the name stay there for longer. Like they could just have that.
With the Capaldio, they changed the entire title sequence around to fit a third name in for Series 10. Just do that. Just change it around.
Nah, BBC doesn't have that budget. And let's go. So then we come back, and as I jump back in time, there's these two guys. They're talking about a tunnel being dug. I really was not interested in this at all. I literally wrote, "Jump back in time feels off." Not really interested right now. That's literally what I wrote. Do you have any idea what happened?
The only thing that I wrote was Scottish McScrooge.
Scottish McScrooge. But I'm assuming because this is a whole long story, it will definitely come back to that at a later point. But yeah, there's these two guys back in time. They're having an argument about this guy's like excavation plans, I think it is, and then they're like,
I think it was sort of like it was like in Crimson Horror where there's like a town around the company, and everyone in the town works at the company kind of thing, and they were digging something, they were doing mining or something.
Yeah. That is what it was.
Yeah, we'll find out later on what was going on with that.
Yeah, we will. We probably will. Then we jump to Dan. He's in the Liverpool Museum. He's a tour guide until it's revealed he's not a tour guide. He's just a guy who wants to be a tour guide.
I was going to say that I was going to write down, like, you don't just stop a tour guide halfway through. Like, Jim clearly doesn't understand how it works. And obviously, he tricked me.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? Just let him do his tour. And then I was like, I know what's going on. And then she said, you don't actually work here, Dan.
You can stop for a couple of seconds, but you don't tell people just to look around the museum themselves. Oh goodness.
But yeah, this girl he's dating, she has one arm. It reminds me from.
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice that until like they did like a third route shot. And I was like, oh, she's got one arm.
Oh, I was probably writing something down at that point.
Maybe. But yeah, Dan, I wrote here, seems pretty nice. He seems like a nice stand-up dude. Yeah. Right?
No, Dan's accent did annoy me at the start, though. I think it was just sort of the first time hearing a Liverpool accent in Doctor Who just kind of took me, off guard.
But yeah, Dan is talking to this lady. I think her name is Claire.
Yeah.
No, Claire's the other one. That's someone else.
No, this is
Dan. Diane. Diane, that's her name. It's Diane. Dan is talking to Diane. Dan and Diane. And they basically set up a date. Dan's like, I'll pick you up. And she's like,
a date?
Yeah, is it a date? No. It's just
It's that's the most annoying line in anything. And like as a writer, if you've ever watched anything on TV that's had that line in it, as a writer, it's your duty to not write that ever.
I know if I was writing a script, I would just write awkward silence, and then there was silence. So it'll be like, let's go on that date. Yeah, sure. Yeah, cool. So I'll see you there. Yeah, I'll see you there. Cool. Yeah, let's get it. That's how I would do it. Instead of going, that date. No, not date. So you mean a normal? No, just a hang it. I hate when they do that.
It's the same kind of thing as when people go, I don't like. I like you.
I like you. I don't like you.
Yeah. Oh man.
It says it sets up Dan needing to go meet this woman later on, because they set up a date. Then we go back to the TARDIS. Yaz and the Doctor are flying, right? They're chasing after this figure that was in the hologram mode in the episode. Then, boom, randomly, something just connects to the Doctor. The Doctor goes, "Oh, what's going on?" And I wrote here, randomly someone connects to the Doctor. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is moving really fast. This is moving really fast. We were like 4 minutes into the episode. They didn't really give us time to breathe. It's like, here's Dan, now here's the new villain. And I was like, okay. Like,
I did. I immediately at the end of this scene that we're talking about now, I wrote jumps around too much.
Yeah. So there's one thing I really know about the scene. So there is, I don't know the guy's name. It's like Scaravarian or some shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know his name. I will probably learn it by like next episode when I rewatch this again. But like, there was this guy.
You're gonna rewatch this?
Yeah, because I need to understand what's going on. There's this guy who's like force fielded around the structure behind him, and then these two like space policemen. Yeah. They teleport in, and immediately one of the ladies go, "Whatever you do, don't talk to him. Don't look him. Don't do what he says." And then, like a minute later, she talks to him, and I'm like, "Oh my god, what are you? Follow your own rules." What the fuck? Then he somehow burns her from the inside, turns into Electro, and escapes. What is going on? That
explosion was too funny. And then the CGI spies.
I don't get. So he's like, "I've been planning this all along. Can you tell us what the plan was? How does this work? Like, actually, like, Chibnall, can you tell us how this actually works, so I can have it in my mind, right? In case this has come up later." And like, the doctor goes, "I actually stopped this by doing this." Like, that would be a cool setup. But no, it just burns her from the inside. I don't know how. Also, why? If he could do that so easily, why didn't he do that already?
Yeah. But do you even need this? Do you even need the flux at that point? Like,
you're already OP, bro. You could just burn people from the inside. Like later on in the episode, a guy touches a lamp and he burns from the inside. What's going on? And then we cut back to the TARDIS, where there seems to be some black goo leaking from the TARDIS crystal.
Yeah, it's venom.
We are the arsehole. But it's like, yeah.
Where's Toby Grace?
Where's Tom Hardy? Where is it? But like, yeah, there is black goo leaking from the what's it called? The TARDIS crystal. The Doctor scans it with her screwdriver, and Yaz goes, "What is it?" And the Doctor goes, "It's nothing." Obviously lying. Like, it's so blatant that the Doctor's lying. So that's probably because there's also a lot of weird stuff that goes on with the TARDIS later on. So this is probably going to come back in some way, or maybe not, because it's Chibnall.
That's probably what it's supposed to be. That's probably what's messing with the TARDIS.
I think like something just broke in the TARDIS. Like,
yeah,
the Doctor just said, "I'm not gonna fix the TARDIS. Like, I don't care." Like,
the Doctor and Yaz are like, "Oh, it's Halloween, and people are going to be trick or treating." And I wrote down, why is that a big deal when you don't know anything yet?
True. Maybe Jazz was like, "Doctor, we could wear costumes," and the Doctor's like, "No." No, what are you talking about? We're trying to hunt down a guy who nearly killed us. We need to put us an ass. What are you talking about, costumes?
It wasn't a costume. She was just as the Doctor.
I hate you.
If the Doctor went to Comic-Con, the Doctor would be dressed as the Doctor. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so we cut to the scene where it's the scene that's shown in the early scene shown of Dan before the series started.
The New Year's thing.
Where Dan is giving the kids the sweets.
Well, I think it's because he's like a single guy. He's like socially awkward. He's never had kids of his own to really know how to talk to them. But it did come across.
I don't think he's socially awkward. I just think that John Bishop doesn't have good facial reactions. Like, he doesn't have a lot of facial range.
No, he doesn't. No, I do think that the lottery joke was quite funny though.
There's a lot of jokes with Dan that makes me laugh.
Because he's a comedian. Yeah.
Dan makes me laugh. I was sat there going, I like Dan. He's funny. he's a funny guy. So Dan's going through his house. He's looking at stuff, and then randomly a big blue lightsaber axe smashes through the door, and guess what? It's the monster that the Doctor's chasing, the Lupari. But we find out that the Lupari is actually the dog thing, right? The dog thing. that looks like Chewbacca, right? The Chewbacca dog, and you know that they did Chewbacca for on purpose because they do a Star Wars joke with Jedi mind tricks. The dog goes up to Dan and goes, I think it's like, you will come with me. It's like he's trying to do Jedi mind trick, and Dan's like, "Oh mate, what you doing?" He says one line that literally killed me. I started laughing. I wrote down the line. It said, they start getting angry at each other, right? Dan goes and strokes his face and strokes his nose and goes, "Whoa, you can't do that to me." And then Dan goes, "Get back to your mom." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Never talk of my mother.
That was funny to me. That was actually funny. He just shoots and goes, "Don't talk about my mother."
How do we even know that race of beings have mothers in the same way that we have mothers?
Because we're humans. We put our culture onto everything else. The Time Lords don't have a concept of gender, but we go, "That's a female doctor." Like, it's what's going on here? Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I found that really funny. Where it's like, "Get back to your mom," and I was like, "Oh my god." It was funny. And then we cut to the TARDIS. It's landed outside of Dan's house. The Doctor is scanning around. That's when the Doctor says,
from the football stadium.
Yeah, she's talking about being a ball boy. And then they go into the Doctor sonic screwdrivers around and follows traces of
the laptop, don't they?
Yeah. This is the part. Yeah, so they follow around in sonic screwdriver, and they basically are following extraterrestrial like signatures. Right? They find Dan. Well, not Dan, but they find this empty apartment. This is like square on the floor. The Doctor licks it and thinks out what it is and what weapon was used. And this was the Lupari. The Lupari was here. So the Doctor's like, "I'm going to try find a Lupari ship. So I'm going to use this laptop here. I'm going to use the laptop here." And then she literally
streams it to the TV.
Yeah,
but there's no point to stream it to the TV because she and Yaz can both see the laptop screen very clearly.
And also, she specifically says this line, right? The ship is shielded against detection, and then she instantly detects the ship. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
There was this weird like focus change in the middle of the scene. It looked so disgusting.
Like the change, like the focus change, and then the whole scene stretched. It's like, what's going on here? It's
so wrong.
But yeah, they find a laptop, and then the Doctor kind of goes like, "Boy, how did they go to the next bit?" Because then apparently the laptop was not Dan's laptop; it was the laptop left by Lupari.
They ran outside the house, and then the house shrunk.
Yes, because
they ran outside, and the Carvanista was there, and they were talking to the Carvanista for a bit. The dog. They were talking to the dog creature for a bit, and then the dog creature shrunk the house.
Yeah. So they shrunk the house because the idea is that the dog tree. No. They weren't talking to the dog creature. The sonic screwdriver detected that there was something wrong, I think, and then they're like, then Yaz and the Doctor both had a moment where they're like, "It's not his laptop," and then they ran out, right?
Yeah, then they ran out and they bumped into the dog creature outside. Yeah. No, as I distinctly remember the dog being outside, like that row of houses outside.
That didn't happen.
Was it could have been.
That didn't happen because later on
if I'm right, you better apologise to me next episode. I'll apologise to you
next episode. We'll check. We'll check after this recording, but I do not remember that. I remember they run out the side, and then the thing shrank, and then there was a little gap from the next door neighbour's toilet that was lost. Yeah, and the Doctor was like, "Sorry."
But like, wouldn't the whole row of houses like fall apart? Because each house has a structure to it that like gives the whole row stability. So if one house goes, they all go, unless it's on the end.
No idea. No idea.
Sure.
So they miniaturized the house, because the laptop was a trap set by the Lupari, the dog monster, and then we cut to Dan and Lupari, in the spaceship.
Don't we cut to the? I might be going ahead, but don't we cut to the?
Oh no! You are getting ahead.
The man and the woman.
No, yeah, you're definitely cutting ahead. That's very much ahead. I think you just skipped a whole. We'll get through. So yeah, Dan is with the alien and they're talking. This reveals like the aliens put Dan in a dog cage. Dan is kind of big balling the alien, just like, "Yeah, you're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna kill me, because if you did, you would have killed me in my kitchen. And the alien's like, oh shit, yeah, I would have. Ah, fuck.
But like he says that, but then like 2 minutes ago he was really dumb and he was like, "Oh, are we in space?" Like, like how do you so quickly like compose yourself?
And this scene, showed that John Bishop is not the best actor.
No,
This is where I'm talking.
I think he showed that in the first scene, to be honest.
This is the scene that really showed that he doesn't really have the facial range. Like, he's not really emotive in the face. He's really much like, whoa. He's very much like Ryan.
Yeah,
he's very much like, well, Doctor. Vindo is. Let's not get to Vindo, because Vindo just what. This is where I'm like, there's so much shit going on. So that scene happens. Then we cut back to Yaz and the Doctor in the TARDIS. This is where the Doctor is like, I need to scan my brain because something in like my brain's been glitching. And Yaz goes, what do you mean glitching? Tell me, Doctor. The Doctor goes, don't worry about it. Yaz goes, what the fuck? Tell me, Doctor.
We had a few lines at the start of that scene, which was clearly just jargon, let's just speak nonsense really quickly, so we look like we know what we're talking about.
Technobabble.
Technobabble. But like once the Doctor got on the console, I actually started to get like interested. Like when when they were talking about the glitch and like the MOT and stuff, I actually thought that was really well written.
That me too, because I was like, this. I literally wrote in all caps, Yaz actually having character. Yaz actually having character and talking to the Doctor. What? All right, I was like, because this is the scene where they really butt heads here. The Doctor's trying to scan her brain because of the crystal guy, we're gonna call him, right? Because I don't seem to remember his name. Invading the Doctor's mind, and the Doctor is very much in control of her own body. So she's like, what the fuck? I need to see what's happening here. This is where it showed that the TARDIS is also being really weird and having like two doors and shit.
Oh yeah, when the door like it's like curved up initially, like it's in the right place, but it's sort of leaning to one side.
And before they went into TARDIS, there was a character which from the Doctor and Yaz's future and her past who meets the Doctor. She's called Claire.
Yeah.
She sees them and goes like, hey, Doctor, I didn't know you're here. And the Doctor goes, who the fuck are you? And she goes, I'm Claire. You're from my past. And then she's like, I gotta go home, Doctor. You guys can leave, but I'll see you soon. Setting up that this is a future person that we'll meet.
Yeah.
But there's also other stuff with Claire in the episode. So yeah, we go back to them in the TARDIS. The Doctor's scanning her brain because she's confused about this thing was able to hack it, and there's beef between Yaz and the Doctor because Yaz is thinking the Doctor is not opening up to her, which the Doctor has not done since the start of Jodie's run. So I am all for Yaz just slapping the Doctor right now because the Doctor's being an asshole. Like the Doctor's just not talking to this is your best mate. You're my fam. Talk to her, bro. What's going on? Like, I don't know if this is them. This is like the Doctor still being shook about the timeless child stuff, or if it's something new. But the Doctor's just not telling Yaz anything, and Yaz notices and is pissing off Yaz.
I think it's just the Doctor. I think it's just the idea that the Doctor is mysterious more than anything else. Like the Doctor has secrets. Rule one: the Doctor lies, kind of thing. I think it's just general stuff.
But I just think no, because this Doctor it's just been very closed off with Yaz. And if it's the Doctor always lies, the Doctor would tell a lie. This Doctor just went, I'm not telling you. Like, I'm just not going to tell you anything. Don't worry about it, Yaz. And Yaz goes, what the fuck are you talking? Tell me something. Anything. The Doctor doesn't tell her anything. Then they try to go and lift up the TARDIS. They try to start the activity TARDIS, but the TARDIS won't fly. TARDIS is just like, I'm not moving anywhere. So they do a callback to David Tennant and they whack it with the mallet.
Hey, I wrote that down. I actually said that was a Peter Davison reference because the David Tennant reference is based off a Peter Davison reference.
But it is the David Tennant mallet.
It is the David Tennant mallet, but what Peter Davison would do was he would whack the console and immediately everything would be fine. Like it was like in almost every story, he'd just whack the console and suddenly whatever he was trying to do would work.
Interesting. But yeah, it's a callback. I wrote, that's kind of cheap. I didn't really like that. I was like,
Oh, actually, I quite like that.
Later on, I felt it was better. I feel like if you didn't need this, if it just had like, especially in the the cliffhanger bit where they whack it and then nothing happens, like that's with the vortex and stuff. We'll talk about when we get to the
Oh
end.
yeah, I remember, yeah.
If it was just that, I would have been like, that's cool, because they did a callback and the callback didn't work, which proves that like the other doctors wouldn't have been able to fix the situation as well. That's would have been cool to me, but they just do a little wink to David Tennant's Doctor with the whack. And then there's more beef with Yaz and the Doctor. I wrote Yaz and the Doctor having beef. Calculation, let's go. I don't remember what they actually specifically say, but they start arguing again. I think it's Yaz being like, no, it's a scene where it's like from the trailer where Yaz goes, something's wrong or something like that. Yaz is really going to the Doctor. I know there's something wrong. Tell me. And the Doctor goes, it's fine, Yaz. It's all good. So then we go back to Claire. Claire's walking home.
Yeah.
And then randomly, we see a weeping angel. At this point, I was like, what the fuck? Why is it just randomly a weeping angel?
Why did Stephen Moffat allow weeping angels to be used?
Like, what? It's just random. Is it like, is it, because I feel like that is like, it's a setup that she's in the past, right? Because it's not like the breaking necks weeping angels, it's to send you back to the past weeping angels. So it's, they do that, but I'm like, why couldn't you just have the character be set in the past? Like, you don't have to have her be. It's another thing where it's like there's a lot of
maybe she's in the Victorian times. Maybe she goes back to the Victorian people at the beginning. Like in the next few episodes, she might be in the 1800s.
Yeah, but she wasn't from there.
No, but like the Doctor could like take her home at the end. But then,
if you needed her in that time period, couldn't you just? It really depends on what the episode does. But wouldn't you just have her be in that time period?
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't know what she's gonna do yet. So
that is true, and that is true.
And weeping angels don't care.
That is also true. But also, where the fuck did they come from?
Yeah.
So didn't the Doctor do like a whole thing where he wiped out like all the weeping angels? Wasn't that a story?
Maybe it might have been.
It wasn't the idea that the Doctor like it didn't all the weeping angels.
I haven't watched it recently enough.
Didn't all the weeping angels go into the crack or something like that? No, that was just the ship's weeping angels. No, that wasn't all of them. Don't mind me. I'm just speaking shit. I'm speaking shit. But yeah. Then we go. Yes, the weeping angel just randomly appears. This Claire knows exactly what this is.
Yeah, no. I said that she caught on too quickly. She just said don't blink too quickly.
I feel like Claire has seen the weeping angel before.
Maybe.
That is what my take is. And my take is that there's probably an episode in the past. No, there's probably an episode that's coming, which is in her past, where they met the weeping angel, so she knows what that is.
Yeah.
So she's met them before, so she knows what it is, but we haven't seen that yet because we're gonna go to that point soon.
Well, are we gonna see like two versions of her then?
That's again why I'm like, why did you have like what's this? What is going on? There's like 9 things I don't understand. Chibnall's just chucking shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I'm like, what's going on? But yeah,
what an image.
But yeah, the weeping angel's there. She's going to the point. She's like, I know what this is. She blinked, and then it jumps to her. She's like, okay, don't blink, go back.
Yeah.
She's like trying to.
And she had very believable reasons to look away. Like at the time she looked away, it actually made sense.
She like looked away because she couldn't find the lock. She couldn't find the lock, so she turned. It got closer. Okay, let's try to lock again. She dropped the keys.
Yeah.
Pick up the keys. I got a blink. Blinks. Okay, it's really close to me. I found the door. I've opened the door. I'm now face to face with the door in my hand. She could have just slammed the door closed, Chris. She could have just bang.
She could have. That was what I was thinking. Like you could have just done that, and then she just lets the angel take her.
Yeah, she
like after all that hard work.
I literally wrote, where is it? Why did she blink and not just shut the door? Like, just done. But she blinked, so she was sent back to the past. And it's left with a shot of the weeping angel at the door, and the door just flinging open. And what's really cool was that they kept the original idea that because we saw the weeping angel didn't move. It didn't move.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Good Chibnall. Yeah. Good Chibnall. I like that. Then we cut to Vinda. This one I was like, what? There's a lot of shit going on here. There's a lot of stuff happening.
My initial thought was that he was lame. Like, I was expecting him to be this really cool guy, like a Han Solo type, a Captain Jack type, and he was kind of lame in comparison. Still a nice guy.
He felt like a really shit Star Trek like leader.
Yeah.
This is Captain Picard. So this is Captain Linda on ship by himself. Oh my god, it's the Flux. It's like
yeah.
But yeah, I wrote Vinda ! There's a lot of jumping around.
Yeah.
Then I wrote in all caps, there's like 50 threads at once. This is where I was like, too much is happening. Like, if like I would have been like, okay, because there was a whole thing about like they had to cut 2 episodes of this, right? Originally it was meant to be 8, apparently, and now it's 6. So I'm coming to think that it's like maybe it's this disjunct and jumpy because a lot of the stuff wasn't meant to be set up until like the next episode or something like that. Because there is literally 5 different aliens in this episode, right? And then 3 new heroes, or fam type people, Dan, Vinda, and Claire, right? There's these 3 people. There's a lot of stuff going on. There is, I was writing here like, there's 50 threads at once. I don't know what the fuck is going on. This is where it started to dip for me, because I was like, there's just it was a good setup, but there's just so much going on here. It feels like someone didn't say, Chibnall, relax a second. Like, this was making no sense. It's like,
I mean, it kind of made sense. It kind of made sense, but only in the context that we don't know how it's going to end yet,
which is not good.
No, that's not a good thing. We cannot call him out on it not making sense because
we haven't seen it.
He can just say, "Oh, you don't know how it ends yet," but
that is true.
We are supposed to think, oh, I know what's happening. Like I understood this episode and how it works.
For me, it's more the fact that it feels like the setup is like, it doesn't feel like it's actually setting up something. It feels like it's just the scene.
Yeah.
Like a scene with Vinda doesn't feel like it's actually setting up anything with Vinda. It's just setting up a scene going, this is Vinda. Yeah. That's it. Like, it doesn't feel like if it was Vinda, like, oh, Vinda sees the TARDIS flying and then Vinda's one of the people to help save the Doctor in the next episode, I'd be like, oh, okay. That's what they were setting up. Right? But it just felt like they just boom. And people may be like, well, they have to introduce Vinda. Yeah, but it could have been more creative than Vinda doing a star log and then seeing the fucking Flux. Like, but yeah, we go to the next bit where they land on the
was kind of cool though. The way that they disappeared was kind of cool in that scene with Vinda.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually liked the CGI for the Flux. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
And when it like rips planets, I was like, man, this is where the budget went.
Yeah.
But like, so yeah, we go back and it's Yaz and the Doctor just landed on the Lupari ship, the Luparian ship, and Yaz and the Doctor are talking, and it's a scene where the Doctor's like, "You got this," Yaz, and taps Yaz on the shoulder or something. I literally wrote here, why is the Doctor being such an asshole to Yaz? Like, I feel so sorry for Yaz. Yaz is like, Doctor, I just want you to open up and we can do this together. And Yaz and the Doctor's just going, no, your job is this. Goodbye. It's like, oh my god, that's rude.
Yeah, it was at this point where I said, this is some of Chibnall's best work, but because it's the same cast as Series 11 and like the same creative team behind it, like the directors and like the editors and the camera operations and all those kind of people, it's still not very good. It's much better. It's a much better script, at least from this point. At this point, it was much better script. But the team, because it's still the same team as when he wasn't good, then like it's still pretty awful overall. Yeah.
Yikes from Chris. Chris is ripping into Chibnall here. Oh my god. But yeah, I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I very much like the first half of this. I think it's like I would have like if they cut out like 3 of the storylines and really just like if they really talked about like the Doctor and Yaz and what they've done since leaving Ryan and Graham. They really they started with that. Like if they showed us the setup to being caught by the Lupari, and then doing everything they did, and then removing the stuff with the random flashbacks with I don't know the spiky people. I don't know what the Scaravari, the crystal heads, right? If they removed that, if they moved that to episode 2, I think this would have flowed better. But I digress. We move on. Yaz.
It was a nice twist that the Carvanista is trying to. Why am I getting ahead?
The Luparian.
The Lupari.
Yeah. That's fine. This is the next thing I was about to say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's kind of cool that they like trying to save the humans. I thought that was a nice bit.
Yeah. So the dog.
What I didn't understand initially, I thought that I didn't realize that the Dogman thing was called Carvanista. I thought he was a Carvanista. I didn't realize he was from Lupari, so I thought he was saving Dan from the Lupari initially.
I see how that's confusing.
Yeah.
I get you. But the scene we're talking about is the Doctor after landing with Yaz. Yaz goes. The plan was the Doctor goes to talk to the Lupari, and Yaz goes to free Dan. So we see the Doctor going to talk to the Lupari. The Doctor uses Sonic to stop the ship and to stop the gun the Lupari has from working. This is when it's revealed that the Lupari was actually saving Dan from the Flux, and all of the Luparian ships that the Doctor saw on the laptop screen are actually other teams coming to save their own humans as well.
Yeah.
Each ship has 1 human, and the fleet is about the size of the human race.
It was 7 billion ships, so that's like pretty much one for every
ship.
For every human.
Yeah.
Yeah, one for every ship.
The idea was they were gonna save everyone, the humans, and then fly away. I don't know how, because the Flux is still coming for them.
This recording may have to end early if the Lupari are gonna come and guess us.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Fucking Lupari. God damn it. But yeah. So this is what they revealed, that the Flux is this like cloud that just eats everything in its path. Just eats.
It destroys it. Like it can change like all the particles in the universe. Like it can change it at like an atomic level. So like everything could be completely different.
Which makes me think this is linked with the crystal people, because they can just atomize people at will. Just I think it's the same power.
Yeah.
But on a grand
it must
scale.
Be surely. Why would you introduce 2 things so similar?
Yep, I agree.
So again, that's chill. So
timeless child. But yeah, then after this, just a lot of
exposition. But while they were explaining the Flux, I couldn't tell if Chibnall was trying to make a joke that Flux sounds like the F word.
I felt like that was true. I felt like that was.
I couldn't stop laughing.
It was like I don't care about the Flux. What's the Flux? And I was like, what the Flux? I was like, oh my god, I was trying to say fuck. God damn it, Chibnall. There was a lot of talk at this point, a lot of exposition and setup. I actually just wrote, there's a lot of exposition and setup, because I really tune out at this point. Again, on the rewatch, I'll probably listen to what they said.
Interesting, because by this point, I was actually like hooked on it. Because when we were at the start, I wasn't interested at all. Like from the end of the cold open, I wasn't interested. But by this point, I was sitting up straight, on the edge of my seat. I haven't been like that since the Saranga Conundrum. The Saranga Conundrum just ruined this era for me, and now I'm back on board.
I honestly feel like
the ending
for me, it started off well, and then the point where I lost it is when, because it should have just been them saying the Flux eats everything, and then we move on to the next bit. Right, that's all you need to say. But they kept on going. I was like, why are you still talking? What's going on?
Yeah,
that's
you're probably right. It's probably because there's aren't enough episodes to really explain it all, so I've had to like combine scenes together.
I think that's the reason, because it just felt like it was drifting on at this point. But then, they're having a conversation, and out come like they're talking about like the humans need to be saved, and then Dan goes, "I don't need to be saved." And then all the power comes on, and the big Luparian's like, "Well, he's my human. I got to save him." And the Doctor's like, "Well, no," and they run into the TARDIS. And this is where again the TARDIS changed. Now the door is on the floor, and I have to literally climb into it. So something's going on with the TARDIS. The TARDIS is going really crazy. There's a funny line said by Dan here where they explain what the TARDIS is. The answer's like, "This is a TARDIS," and then Dan goes, "Oh, my mate has one of these. His was bigger." And I laughed so hard. I was like, "Oh my god, this guy is so funny. This guy's so funny."
Why was the outside door on the inside?
I don't know. The TARDIS is messed up, bro.
Yeah, but like the inside of the TARDIS and the outside of the TARDIS are two different dimensions. If something's going on with the inside, it's not going to affect the outside of it.
I think it was just cool design. just cool design. It was like, it looks cool.
Yeah, I went from the outside to the outside, even though there is that physical box space that exists now in this new TARDIS.
I get what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just they didn't want to have like a bit that comes out for them to be in. Maybe that was like awkward to do for the set. But yeah, that they cut. But then we cut to Sontaha. We see the Sontarans.
Sontaha.
We see the Sontarans in their new like grey, and I like the design.
Yeah, no, it's based off Classic Who design.
Yeah, I like.
They were never supposed to be dark blue.
The reason I like the design is they're taller now, but
they're not that much taller.
They're like 5'5".
Yeah, but then again, they're in their own space. Like the one we saw is in his own spaceship, so it's designed to suit his height.
You probably can't see him compared to the other ones, but they look cool. The face modeling thing looks cooler because it actually looks like a face other than prosthetic. Like it actually looks like it's the person's face, and you can see some of the emotions in the eyes and the mouth a lot better.
Yeah, like it's not so bad in the Sontaran two-parter in Series 4, but Strax really does look fake sometimes with the prosthetics.
Because he doesn't turn his head; he has to like turn his body. Like
yeah.
Like, and he looks like a fucking penguin, a potato penguin. But like, I like the design of the Sontarans.
Yeah, this one's much better.
But again, the thing that the Sontarans were just using this episode is to establish that the Sontarans are running away from the Flux, or as I think what they called it the catalyst.
Yeah, they just sort of seem to be there, just like, oh, the Sontarans happen to be here because the Flux is affecting everyone.
And I feel like they could have just had this in the second episode.
Yeah,
I don't need to see the Sontarans here.
I mean, what they could have done, which would have been interesting, is introduce Strax in the Victorian setting, because we know Strax is in the Victorian setting, and then he goes and like lets the other Sontarans know, "Oh, the Flux is coming. Be careful." Like
cool. That would have caused a paradox.
I guess
because we've seen Strax's history, but I would change Strax's history. You know.
I guess so.
Which is why you don't normally see like them go back on stuff they've already established. Shit and all.
Yeah.
Timeless child. Anyways. Then we see the Doctor is showing the Doctor kind of like opens up and shows the universe being nothing, but it's all the stars and all the floating bits of the universe. And then Dan's like,
it looked as if there was too much. They were on the edge of our solar system. It looked like there was a bit too much stuff.
They wanted it to look pretty.
Yeah.
And then that's when Dan says a line like, "This is nothing. This looks like a lot."
Yeah, I mean, it looked a bit empty, but it's still there was still like stuff in the background, which it was like some stuff were a bit too big. We would be able to see them. Surely.
This is where Yaz explains that the reason they're able to breathe is because the TARDIS has an oxygen bubble, which is cool.
Yeah, I was trying to think, when was the last time they actually said that?
It was probably I feel like it was a Matt Smith episode.
I feel like it was series 5.
Like when you were talking to Amy in one of like the when they did like the little mini videos.
Beast Below,
but like between those, when they did like the little mini videos between those.
It was the mini episode, yeah, when he looks up her dress.
Fucking hell. That's your mother-in-law. Anyways. The Doctor sees the Flux just eating planets and stars, and the Doctor somehow has this like force ability to feel the Flux. It like zooms into her eye and she sees the Flux and feels the Flux and literally says,
yeah,
the Flux is breaking the laws of time and space. I can feel it like eating the universe. Right? And the Doctor's like scared shitless. This is when we cut randomly to the spiky dude.
Yeah.
And he goes,
she disappeared somewhere. She went somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought initially that she'd been like, they'd all been swallowed up by the Flux, and this is where they go.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like the Flux is a teleportation to like another universe.
Yeah, or like this inside the cloud, like
parallel universe, and you see Rose there going, Doctor. It's like, no, Rose, not again.
It's got like Pete there. Ricky, you just got like Ricky's gravestone.
Yeah, because no Clark is cancelled. But yeah, so then the crystal dude goes to the Doctor and goes. He basically reveals that he knows the Doctor. They're old enemies, but then the Doctor reveals that she doesn't know them, which is again Chibnall. Like, it's Chibnall looking at the camera, going, "The Timeless Child is canon. Okay, it's canon. It's canon." So this is,
or he's trying to be really clever and saying, "Oh, this is the villain. This is like one of the villains from this series, but after they were the villain." If that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that's too smart for Jim.
Yeah.
Because this
is... No. I think he's clever enough to have the idea. I don't think he's clever enough to see it through.
Yeah. I get what you're talking about. So yeah.
So hopefully it isn't that.
Because what I feel like it sets up is the fact that the Doctor and this guy, I need to really learn his name. I feel like it's signifying that this is set before the first Doctor. So someone that the Doctor's known before the first Doctor. Right?
Yeah.
Which is why the Doctor doesn't remember. Like, it's either that or they've met in an incarnation, like I don't know, between a series and a Big Finish audio podcast. There's just a random part where they've met and they just scrubbed it from the Doctor's mind. Those are the two things I can see it being. I think it's the first option because it's already been set up with the fact that there's been Doctors before the first Doctor with the Timeless Child. So it's probably Shimmer going, this is one of the villains before then that the Doctor doesn't remember. And the series is probably going to be us finding out who that is. And this is where my theory comes in, which I talked about earlier on. I think they are a Time Lord, right?
Oh, okay, right.
And I think either, right, which is a really shitty one, but I'm like, this could be a cop-out. It's just the Master. Right, that could literally just be it. It's just the Master.
Could be the Master. There is a version of the Master who is a skeleton.
Or... what I also think it could be is the two of them, the guy Crystal and the girl Crystal, they're both Time Lords, and then the Doctor's parents. Oh. Family troubles. Family troubles, who knows? Those are the two things. This is what I was talking about. That one I can see Chibnall writing, but I'm like, I can see Chibnall going, these are the Doctor's parents. And I'm like,
oh no!
That's what I think it is.
I know the Doctor's parents. The Doctor grew up in an orphanage, for goodness' sake.
This is what I think, and this is what I'm gonna have until we finish this series, right? And if I'm correct, Chris, I don't know what we're gonna do, but that's my prediction, right? Chris, who do you predict are these two people? Do you have a prediction? Do you even have a prediction?
I just think that they're new characters. They're just yeah.
But yeah, I honestly would like if that guy was the Master. Imagine if like the Master and Missy.
Goodness, not again.
Guess he's back. Back again. Missy's back.
I think they could. I can see like Chibnall being sort of really witty and being like using the word "we" when it's really supposed to be "I."
Oh no,
because
Chris!
it's the same person.
Don't give him ideas, Chris. Don't give. You know what? You know our plan, Chris. Don't give him ideas. Don't give him ideas, Chris.
I'm not referring to that. I was just referring to like multi.
Yeah, but don't give him ideas, Chris. Don't give him ideas. He got Centaurans, Chris. He's gonna take. He's gonna take it, Chris. Ah! I'm gonna cut that out. That's
yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we go to after that, but I think it's a Time Lord. We go to later on in the episode. They cut back, and the Doctor's like, "We're fucked, right? The universe is about to die, right?" And Dan goes, "Wait, if Earth is gone, oh no, I missed my date." And it cuts back to Diane.
Just a harsh cut as well. Like it doesn't fit at all.
Diane just standing there like, okay, so he's not here. And then you hear the voice of the Lady Crystal Woman. She's like, Diane, come inside the building, Diane. Diane's like, I'm not going inside the building. That's crazy. Then she forces her with her power to walk towards the light. Yeah. And then we see Diane go through the light door, which is interesting. Yeah. She has mind control powers.
I love and hate the bit. Oh, I mostly hate the bit where she like talks to herself and says like, "Why am I walking?" Because like the first sentence is alright. It's like, it says alright. Like, I don't remember what it was, but I remember being alright. The second one was like, "Why am I walking? I don't want to be walking." It was like far too on the nose.
It's another thing with Chibnall where like he shows something and we figure it out, and then he tells us right after going, "This is what you should have you should have figured out." I was like, just let me figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
but then again, to be fair, it is quite difficult to show someone walking when they don't want to walk.
But
like,
I instantly knew that's what was happening when she said,
"Yeah, but when you're writing the script, you don't know how that's going to come across." Well, I mean, you can take it out when you're filming it, but like,
but that's when you're writing the action. Like, unwillingly walks towards the door. That's how you know that's what's happening. You wrote in the script, unwillingly walks towards the door.
Yeah, but like you don't know how that's going to look on screen.
It's not your fault. That's not your fault. That's the director's job. That's not your job.
That's a good point.
It's not your job. Don't like.
That's a good point.
So the Doctor hatches a plan that all 7 billion or whatever Lupari ships should use their force shield thing that they have on their ships that the Doctor struggled to fly through when trying to land on the Lupari ship originally. They should use all of their ships and cover the Earth, right? They do it, and apparently it works in helping shield the planet Earth from the Flux. But on the outside of that like shield is guess who? The TARDIS crew, Team TARDIS. The TARDIS on the outside, and they're like, you got to get here and get inside the shield, or you're gonna die. This is where we get given our cliffhanger. The Flux is flying towards the TARDIS. The TARDIS shuts down just before the TARDIS is about to get into the shield, right? So the Doctor goes, you know what? I want you, Flux, to meet vortex energy, and gets the mallet from early in the episode and smashes a hole into the TARDIS. The energy comes out like a fucking Kamehameha from Dragon Ball, right? It's coming out the TARDIS. Zzz. The Flux just eats it. It just eats it up. And that's where we left the cliffhanger with the Doctor going, if this is how the universe ends, oh, interesting. I can't wait to see.
Oh, I have so much to say about that. So just before that whole bit started, I think I was just at the start of that scene. I wrote down, if you like whatever's going on, if you could change all the particles in the universe, i.e. the Flux, would you do this?
No.
Like, would this be like your plan if you could do this? And then I wrote, the Lupari battalion blockade is done. The Flux can change every particle in the universe.
That's also true.
And then I wrote, why would vortex energy do anything to Flux? It can change every particle in the universe.
It's so true. He said the idea that like this thing is the idea that, like you have to rise the stakes, right? So we're gonna have a monster which is unstoppable. So we're gonna have a thing called the Flux, which literally changes the part, like the molecular level of everything in the universe.
You've already won. Like, you don't need to have an elaborate plan for that. You can just be like, oh, the universe is how I want it to be now.
It's like Thanos. Thanos goes,
yeah,
reality is what I want it to be. Change. That's literally was like the Flux goes, I want you, atom of Earth, to be nothing.
yeah.
Oh. So the fact that like these shield things, which the TARDIS, which is a living thing, struggle to go through, it makes no sense that the things that change matter itself, like it's gonna change that. It's not gonna try fight. It's just gonna change it. It's like Chibnall's imagining it like an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, right? That's what Chibnall's imagining is happening, right?
Yeah.
But what's happening? It's a piece of paper meeting scissors. Like it's just, I don't like. I could just cut you up, bro. There's nothing's gonna happen here. Like what's going on? Like it's just. That's the first episode of Doctor Who, the chapter 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh. It was so good until the end.
I really like the start with the cold open and the start with the black screen. I think that was really cool. I like the idea that like it started upwards and then it reveals that they're upside down. I like when films and everything always does that. It's a really cool shot. I loved what's going on with Yaz and the Doctor. I hope it actually has a payoff. I like Dan. I actually think he's really funny. I don't think John Bishop is a great actor, but his humor makes up for it. Like he's just really funny. The Lupari's pretty annoying. Like I don't like the Lupari. The joke is it's a dog, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
well, whatever. Vindo didn't need to be in this episode. Centaurus didn't need to be in this episode. And that's pretty much it. I feel sorry for Diane, and I'm looking forward to the next episode. But not because I want to, like, not because I'm like, oh my god, I need to see him, but just because I want more stuff to make sense. I'm watching the episode to see it make sense, not because I want to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
So I give this first episode, as I've said, a 6 out of 10.
I'm pretty much, I've got pretty much the same views as you, like pretty much everything you said there. I liked the beginning of the cold open with the the black screen and the upside down bit. By the end of the cold open, there was too much exposition. They should have gone and done a flashback of some sort to explain it all. Dan's cool. He's alright. He's not the best actor, but he's funny. Yeah. Did this actually have to be on Halloween in the end?
No.
Like they kept making a point of that. With the trick or treat thing, but it didn't actually need to be Halloween.
It just they didn't need to.
Yeah, I think this. I would say that this is like Chibnall's this is one of Chibnall's best scripts, but one of Chibnall's worst stories. So like it's written well, but it's just not a good story to make good. And that ending was just so awful. I want to find out what happens with that woman Claire. Like, why? Like, if she's just been taken back to the past, how does she know the Doctor from her past? Like, yeah, and then yeah. I'm gonna give it a 4 to start with. But it's it's the only way I can balance out a 7 and then suddenly a 0 at the end. So yeah, a 4.
Well, thank you guys for listening to this Doctor Who After Show. Thank you for listening to episode 1 of the Doctor Why podcast. We'll be back next week, obviously, for episode 2, War on the Sontarans, written by Chris Chibnall and directed by the same person, Jamie Magnus Stone. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.